As you guys may or may not have noticed, the background behind me is related to the theme of the show I'm reviewing. So this is a very tranquil background, right? Where it's giving peaceful. It's giving wanting to let go of all my worries. And that would explain why this show I'm reviewing is a wholesome review. No sussy anything. We're just above board at all times. And I like that. What's up, guys? I'm 47. Welcome to Watch Plus. Subscribe because I'm gonna be way. Subscribe. But today we're reviewing a show called Muramata. The longer name is right in front of you, so you don't have to pin me for pronouncing it right or wrong. And it's a 2-episode series, basically with 2 different arcs. And one arc is an episode and a half, other arc is half of an episode. So it's kind of like dipping their toes in 2 different type of bean dip. I don't know. I had something funny come to my mind. It ran away as soon as I thought of it. Anyway, regardless. The funny thing about this, right, is Queen Bee animated this. And one thing you have to know, when Mike was in the shot the entire time, I hate you, another thing you need to know about Queen Bee is that amongst this community of people that also watch the content that I watch, they hate Queen Bee because it has a bunch of shots like this, or like this, or like this, consistently in the entire show. But when it comes to the bread and butter, they are fluid with it, right? But there's just some static moments. Like, for example, it looks like stick figures here, but in other moments, it looks like I am actually witnessing a VR 3D rendition of the same show. I just see a lot of comments here. I'm gonna read them myself because it's absolutely hilarious comment, by the way.
Queen Bee can't animate at all, just read it instead. I wish Pineapple Urbana Walker animated this. Why is this studio still in business? Who keeps buying these PowerPoint presentations? Look at how they massacred my favorite doujin. While Queen Bee animations are basically just glorified motion comics, I do appreciate that they're 100% faithful to the doujin art and themes. This doujin is...
Now, reading all those comments took me about like 20 different takes in like an extra 5 minutes. So hit the like button because that was a lot of work. More work than I've done in the past 3 months. Anyway, so these comment sections aren't really too kind or too friendly to Queen Bee. They're not even talking about the plot in general. And unironically, I do want to talk about this though. The one time where the plot is actually somewhat kind of like cool and someone makes sense and it's somewhat not egregious. They're all up in arms about it. They're all mad at the animation studio instead of talking about the plot. That is crazy, right? I have seen horrendous stuff for the sake of my entertainment, but mostly yours, because seeing my reaction to this horrendous stuff is the whole point of the video, right? All their comments like, yay, woohoo, let's do it. I want another woohoo, because it's animated perfectly well. But you get a couple bad frames here, like a Dragon Ball Super.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the f, man? Get your...
Then you just completely forget about the fact that this is a good, wholesome plot breaker and is very, very applicable to your life. This could just happen to you in general if you just pick up some good vibes. And they just do not think about it. They don't want relatability. They want the ability to escape. They want escapism, which doesn't excuse ignoring the plot in general because the relatability can be a form of escapism. But again, that's a different topic in general. So what is the plot? What is the plot in general? Why are they all mad like this? Why am I not even talking about the plot in general? Because the plot itself is good. They don't really care about anything else. Because at the end of the day, there are very few people in this world who do care about the plot. I did not see my boy Astro Skydiver underneath this video, so therefore he's not one of them. So I'm probably the only person who watches this video who care about the plot. Other than the people who are watching my video of watching this video, so therefore they might watch the plot in general because they're watching my video of this video. So the plot is very simple, right? We have Muramata, and she is the supervisor for Kaji. And Kaji knows the workplace. He's messing up a whole lot because he's brand new. What is this firm? I don't know. They use a lot of office mumbo jumbo jargon. So I assume it's like in like the 9-to-5 area where like they're doing like straight up data entry for some marketing firm, whatever. I don't know. I've only worked like what, 12 jobs in my life. Only did 2 office jobs and they're both boring as hell. I forgot what I did. So I'm not gonna really apply that relevancy to this exact position here, but whatever. Anyway, regardless, what did I say? I don't know. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the position and the power dynamics are the woman has all the power and the dude is just a random dude who's just brand new, right? And they kick it off by bonding over the fact that their boss is yelling at them for some mistake that Kaji did. And Kaji's like, man, Muramata, I'm sorry, I'm just new, I'm so sorry. And instead of scolding him like a supervisor normally would do, she's like, oh, don't worry about him, he's a little loser anyway, who cares about him? And then after that, they start bonding, and then one thing leads to another. They try to go to a bar after making up for Kaji's mistake. and the bar was closed, which, oh man, the bar is closed. I mean, I guess at the end of the night, right? I guess you can do anything else at all since the bar is closed. Like, what else could you possibly do? They go to Muramata's house, obviously, if you don't catch the drift. I'm trying to. So they go to her house, right? And at her house, they're just chilling and kicking. And I feel like the interesting plot point for this show that give it its marketability moment is when it's revealed that Muramata has like a split fork tongue, which is like this, essentially. Should I stop giving cringe warnings over my content? Yes. Will I stop? No.
Don't be filming me, brother.
And he's like, oh my God, he has a split tongue. That's so crazy. Oh my God, it's so wild. And they're like flash of drunk, right? And she's like, oh no, I've been trying to hide this split tongue since I was young. I didn't mean to get it. It was a mistake. Well, I didn't say I didn't mean to get it. I just regret getting it because now I get made fun of it every single moment of my life. So I have to hide my tongue for every single second I'm alive. And then Kaji's like, wow, we have a secret between each other. That's very interesting. You know, we can bond between that secret. And they do a bonding technique that is sacred to those who want to consummate a marriage. So after that, right? After that, I get to see the fluidity of Queen Bee in motion. And obviously, again, barring a few stick figure moments, it is 7, 8 out of 10 animation. It's not as bad as these people are saying it is. They don't even know what their problem is, honestly. They look at Poro, they watch Poro videos. 4 to 5 minutes is just straight text, and you don't even have to read the text because they're gonna basically animate it regardless. So what's the point of even having text in the first place? And they're okay with that. They're also okay with Poro leaving just random cliffhangers for no reason. They're also okay with Poro just making plot twists that make no sense at all. But when Queen Bee has some consistency, when Queen Bee lives a one-to-one adaptation, then they're mad at that. Am I a Queen Bee advocate? Maybe. Am I a Queen Bee stan? Also maybe, but that's besides the point. They go on further and further and explaining how their bond gets basically linked and it matures into basically in the workplace, they're just chilling, they blink, next thing you know, they're in the office just going at it nonstop. And it is kind of cool, kind of wholesome, because it's basically like a romance plus anime, right? It is kind of cute because the whole thing is like, oh, my tongue is the thing I'm ashamed of, but if you get me in a corner and you make me feel good about myself, I will show you why I'm ashamed of this tongue. It ends off in the second episode where they're just staying up late at night in the workplace because they have to cram in, it's like extra 12 all-nighter shift. I almost said 12-hour shift, but it's all-nighter. They have to cram in an all-nighter shift, and of course they're going back to back to back, round and round and round, like it's Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali, except not with boxing, obviously.
And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
I can knock a man up backing up.
Huh?
The end of the series is them going out of the building like, that was a hard day's work, wasn't it, Kaji? Huh? Yeah, that was pretty hard. And then Kaji's like, yeah, it was, girlfriend. And then they smile in the camera, click, have a nice day. And then for the next 10 minutes of this episode, which is episode 2 by the way, we have Hayato and one of the popular girls basically fighting each other until they're not. And this all started because Hayato's friends were like, hey bro, how do you grow without any pills, man? What's going on? What do you use to replace ashwagandha? What do you do here? And Hayato was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing, bro. We're in front of people in public. Why would you ask me that question? That's so disgusting. The popular girl's like, no, really, how do you do that, man? I'm actually curious. And then they go out, and that's the end of the series. If you ignore that 10-minute whatever that is, then we're probably going to end up on a good note, which is Muramata and Kaji, wholesome relationship. And that within itself should have been an entire separate series, and they could have developed more into the Hayato popular girl arc within itself as well, because that probably could have potential if they really fleshed it out, no pun intended, but they didn't. They decided to throw it in there, probably because it was like a failed plot or something, I don't know. But regardless, was it worth all the hate that it was getting. Absolutely not. It's not. Where are you getting this tantrum from? Like, I don't understand where this rage is coming from. Like, if I look in Queen Bee's catalog, right? So I feel like, oh, they made Shikiyoko Infinite too. They hate the shows again. It's specifically because of the whole stick figure-esque moments, just like I was showing you there. And also the moments where it's not 100% as realistic as they thought it would be at all times. Which, I mean, let's be honest here. There are shows that are like 3D. If you want realism, go watch 3D shows, all right? If you're okay with like bending the wheel, but you have a phenomenal plot like this show had, the first and a half episode, then you watch Queen Bee-esque animations, right? Like, come on, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's almost like you guys don't care about the plot at all. But in reality, come on, let's be honest here. YouTube aside, the plot does matter if you're trying to watch one of these series, because the way they are animated, they don't go full out for the entire series. They build up scene, and then plateau, and that's it. That's how they usually go, right? Now, there's probably more than just 3 scenes like I just mentioned there, but that's the typical model. And if you don't have an appropriate build up, no pun intended there, then the whole scene part isn't going to be as phenomenal, because you just have this random pixels just smashing other pixels with no context. Now, again, if that is what you want, then why are you watching Queen Bee episodes? You know their track record. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop venting about Queen Bee. This is really grinding my gears. I am like thoroughly just tilted about the Queen Bee hatred, and I just had it. I've had it, but that's regardless. That's the Muramata show itself. I would say check it out. It has a pretty decent plot. It's pretty wholesome itself, and something I would generally recommend to people. Alright guys, I don't have an but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one makes fun of the video. Good night. Now I have to edit all this.
This money easy. It seems I made it hit easy cause the money it pleased me. Now that I got money, it feels different. As if it came in an instant. I'm sending it to the left, I'm sending it to the right. Now that I got this money, it feels tight.